One of the reasons I suggest that Suella Braverman is so ill-prepared when she goes into a select committee is that she is too busy trying to score political points off other people. And today, it seems to be no different. She's been trying to score a political point, and she's been pressing for the sacking of Ed Milliband. He was called Ted in Oxford years ago. I remember I didn't know him terribly well, but I knew him well enough to wave at him near Oriel or Christchurch, that little corner anyway. I think Milliband is a good egg. He works hard, he's industrious, and he's got quite good ideas. Anyway, Suella Braverman is none of those things, as we know. She's castigating Ed Milliband for putting Keir Starmer in a position where he's saying one thing and doing something else. She says that he should abandon your ruinous plans to end new oil and gas licenses and supporting our measures to stop JSO street blockers, and it must mean ordering all office holders in your party, including your government in Wales, to end contact with the extremist groups. Now, the whole point is, if you don't have contact with people who don't agree with you, you can't solve any problems. And so she is completely wrong. This standoffish approach to politics is a childish approach, utterly childish. And I think that describes Suella Braverman and indeed so many of the failed politicians in the Conservative Party at the moment. She talks about Keir Starmer being riddled with arrogance. Actually, no, she doesn't. She's describing how Keir Starmer has said that Just Stop Oil is riddled with arrogance. I'm sure she thinks Keir Starmer is riddled with arrogance as well. But no, she hasn't said that. Oh, gosh. Anyway, Keir Starmer has said that Just Stop Oil is riddled with arrogance and he's got no time for their organisation. But at the same time, Jess Marden, his secretary, has told them to come in for a chat. And people in the Labour Party have been speaking to Just Stop Oil. And Suella Braverman says, you sympathise with Just Stop Oil and with Extinction Rebellion. Well, why not? Why not? Their aim is right, even if their methodology may be questionable at times. But their aim is right, and these people, you can always change somebody's opinion. You can always change somebody's activity. What you can't change is somebody who's an unpleasant person. It's much harder. These people, their heart is in the right place. Suella Braverman, do you even have a heart? Anyway, Ted Milliband, the Minister for Net Zero, and Kerry McCarthy, the Minister for the opposition spokesperson for climate change. Suella Braverman says, I appeal to you to stop, in your own words, bowing to fringe lobbies and extremists. Well, surely that's what she's spent her entire recent career doing, bowing to the Northern Wall, and to the shrill calls to stop the boats, invader. Surely that is bowing to the fringe lobbies and the extremists that she thinks you shouldn't be kowtowing to. Different fringe lobbies, different extremists, but well named. I appeal to you, she says. How? I appeal to you to behave in the same way, both in public and in private. Actually, from that point of view, I must say, I agree with her on that. I think there's a lot to be said for having the same voice in public and in private, for not developing these sort of fake voices when you're trying to be serious. I do hate people who who go for this sort of fake voice, sometimes from the back of the throat, as though they're gargling marbles or are otherwise orally occupied, with sort of apples in their mouth or something. I find it so unpleasant. You know, that business voice that people sometimes do. It's almost as deplorable as the child voice that people do when they speak down to children. I don't like it. I think it's all patronizing. Use the same voice that you use for one person for another person. Try and be truthful in your oracy, in the way you speak, in the way you communicate. It should be the same voice in every situation. And if it's not, then you're one person to one group and another person to another group. It should be the same. And anyway, Miss Braverman ends her letter by saying, "I look forward to hearing from you, though perhaps more in hope than in anticipation." What a horribly shitty way of ending a letter. What's the point of writing a letter if you don't have the courtesy to end it in a positive way? The accepted conventions, "I look forward to hearing from you, yours sincerely." Does she expect everybody to deal with her mail in the same way that she deals with mail from other people? I've written to Suella Braverman and I've not had a reply, presumably because she expects people to deal with her with their correspondence in the same way that she deals with hers. What a shitty, dismissive way that she behaves. No, utterly abhorrent. She gives herself away in the last line of her letter. I wouldn't write back to her. Well, I would, but it wouldn't be something she'd like to hear.